Hey guys, so here's the story on how I met Lauren and etc. since I'm getting a lot of people asking me about it. I'm going to try and explain this as short as I can. So I met Pixel in early 2023 through a ROBLOX project I also participated in. So along with a few others, I became a game tester a few months into the community. Anyways, at the time, I did become curious about Pixel, aka Titan Hex, aka Pixel Ren, aka Lauren, and I guess I liked him for a bit. But me and him wouldn't really ever talk in DMs. Just in general in the community, and I didn't think he would talk to me. Anyways, he was the one to keep me around because I'd always be getting threatened to get banned since I was a bit of a rat. But yeah, crazy switch up. Anyways, the community kind of died down a bit, and I kind of wanted Pixel's attention, so I went to this dollhouse roleplay game and told people he groomed me since I was dared to do it by one of my friends. This was before everything, by the way. Anywho, of course, someone snitches on me and tells Pixel I'm trying to spread rumors around, and so he adds me on Discord a few weeks later because I asked my friends to talk about the rumors I was trying to spread, and anywho, I said I'm sorry, and Pixel tells me not to do it again, etc. And of course, I listened because I felt truly sorry for that. Anyways, we would rarely talk about anything, and when we did, I would be the one DMing first about game stuff, I guess. Yeah. So one time we did have a conversation about grooming and how it's bad, etc. And it's crazy how he would be the one to do it a year later. Over those years, we would go back to simple talking every 5 months. Anyways, so one day I wanted to get everyone back together in a way, the friend group back together and stuff, and I wanted to confess to people that I liked Pixel, and bro, that shit was so corny, bro. Anyways, I asked someone to invite Pixel, and of course Pixel joins the server. I confess, obviously, he rejects me, etc. And then me and Pixel would DM a bit after that, and I guess he would start to talk about clothes he likes, because this motherfucker has a clothing fetish, gang. Anyways, a bit after that, we would start talking for hours, and I got a bit flirty. He also flirted back. I'd say jokes in the server about wanting to give Pixel a blowjob, and that would obviously turn Pixel on in a way. Anyways, that night in DMs, we would be flirty again, and he would end up calling me a good girl, bro. And I kind of freaked out and screenshotted that shit and told a few people, but then one of those people grew a bit scared and told another person, and then it reached Pixel. And Pixel then messaged me the next day, hey, so I've seen people have our chats. If there's anything you could do to help reverse the situation, that would be cool. And of course, being the desperate self I am for his attention, I go I'm sorry. And then here I am also begging him not to leave me. And so he goes okay, well, there is something you can do. So he tells me to delete the messages. He manipulates me into deleting all the proof and evidence. And of course, I do what he says. And me and him both start to talk on all accounts. I isolate myself to only him and one of my close friends I know in real life. Anyways, me and my real life friend would talk about the situation since we kind of wanted the guy's wife to know about it. And hey, I never wanted a serious relationship with this man. I liked him, but I've always known it wasn't possible. Anyways, one day he adds me back into my main account since he knows my real life friend knows about him isolating me. And so then I finally break and tell him the truth about her knowing the whole time. And so he freaks out and blocks me at that point. I was enraged, and out of rage, I made a Discord server putting some information on him that I publicly found off the public internet. So technically not really doxing, I guess, but it was still wrong of me to do all of that to get people who aren't involved. Anyways, he would find the server and confess to everyone that I've been trying to quote-unquote hurt him and quote-unquote attack him and quote-unquote ruin his life. When, bro, I've stated multiple times that, yeah, always around that exact time I met Cole, aka his student who shook hands with him in real life. Anyways, I told Cole to, like, join the server to watch this huge fight against me. Anywho, Pixel makes it so the whole server turns against me because he shows proof that he didn't do anything when he shows all the casual conversations we would have, because he had us delete the whole inappropriate conversations, so people thought, like, he was in the right, and they thought the messages were edited because Pixel told me to tell people that messages were edited when he got exposed. And yeah, the whole server turned against me. Anyways, Cole stayed with me anyways because I showed him solid evidence. Anywho, I wanted to apologize to everyone because I thought I did something wrong at the time. I mean, I kind of did. I messed up by getting other people who weren't involved and, like, trying to, like, attack him, I guess, seeing where he lives. Anyways, I made a server with Pixel in it and the people originally involved, the community who were currently involved. And yeah, things calmed down. Me and Pixel took a week break from talking to each other, and he told me he would add me back after that. And he did that at like 3 in the morning. Anywho, me and Pixel calmed down from the whole situation, and I was convinced he was going to flirt with me again. After a bit, so a few weeks or a month, I think, I started being a little bit flirty again and some stuff, and guess what? Guess Pixel didn't learn his lesson, because then we would slowly start talking pretty sexual, etc. I told him I wouldn't tell anyone, but at that point, I knew he was going to groom me. I actually was falling into Pixel's trap that night. I was going to send him photos of myself. Thankfully, Cole made me think about it, and I didn't. And I kept hinting at Pixel if he would really want to do that. He never really gave solid answers, but still. Then it would get hella sexual with Pixel, technically hinting he wants to impregnate me and do inappropriate stuff with me. He never said anything about my age or anything about consent. Like, oh, the age of 16 is consent, blah, blah, blah. I told him that I don't mind. But I looked it up, and you can't really confront online. And that's, like, now kind of like the end of the story. So here I am now, publicly exposing him. And I love all of you guys who are along with it, and before he says I'm getting people to attack him, he can't say that because I'm not saying to attack him, and if people do, it's not up to me because it's their actions, not mine.